Law school is mispriced right now. Applicants think it's a dying profession, but the data says it's the strongest it's been in 40 years. Now, for a long time, I've been telling you be careful about going to law school. AI might disrupt things. You want to be careful. But turns out I might have been wrong. There is one number I recently saw that broke my whole AI doomer thesis, and I'm going to show you in just a minute. There is a mispricing when it comes to law school. In finance, it's when the market gets the value of something wrong. So, for example, a stock trading at 50 when the company's worth 100. Smart money spots the gap, makes the trade, then waits for the market to catch up. That is what is happening in law school right now. And the window may already be closing. Let me tell you about a student named Sarah. I started working with her 2 years ago. She's from the Midwest, the first in her family to consider law school. Her cousin, working in tech, kept sending her articles about ChatGPT passing the bar. Her career advisor told her legal is getting automated, and her mom asked if she was really sure about going. And she almost didn't even apply. She sat on her applications for 2 months because she couldn't shake the feeling she was going to make a six-figure mistake. But she applied to law school anyway with a 170 LSAT, 3.8 GPA, got into a top 20 law school with a scholarship that cut her tuition by more than half. A few weeks ago, she just got her 1L summer associate offer, got paid market rate at a firm she wanted in a city she wanted. And so the people who told Sarah not to even apply to law school are watching her walk into a career they talked themselves out of. And so 3 years from now, the friend who told you not to apply is sitting in a tech job laying off seniors, watching you get an offer of $225,000 a year. That is the trade. Now let's talk about the data. 93.4% of last year's law school graduates had jobs within 10 months of graduation. That is for the class of 2024. The NALP just released the numbers. That is the highest rate ever recorded. No class has ever done better. This same class only is experiencing 5.1% unemployment. That is an all-time low. This class had going in 3,700 more graduates than the one before. Everybody in the industry, including the NALP's own executive director, predicted the market wasn't going to absorb them. But it did absorb them and then some. Now let's talk about the salaries. First-year associates at the top firms in the country are starting at a base salary of $225,000. Senior associates clear $400,000 base before bonus. Equity partners at the top 100 law firms are averaging $3.5 million each, up 14% year over year. Now, when technology actually replaces a profession, salaries tank first. That's what happened, for example, to freelance translators when Google Translate came along. And that is what is starting to happen to junior software engineers right now. But legal pay is actually doing the opposite. Now, the AI legal doomers right now are talking about Baker McKenzie, one of the 10 biggest law firms in the world. February of this year, just a few months ago, they announced they were cutting up to 1,000 of their staff, and they cited AI directly in their public statement. So that is the biggest data point the panic narrative in the legal profession is built on right now. But here's what nobody is telling you. The cuts at Baker McKenzie were in business services like marketing, research, secretarial, offshore support, not in lawyers, not in the legal department. Across the entire AM Law 100, attorney headcount grew 7.7% the prior year and another 4% last year. So there are 2 consecutive years of lower growth at the biggest firms in the middle of this AI wave. So Clifford Chance, Freshfields, DWF, every one of these firms ran the same play when AI came along. They cut their support staff and grew their attorney headcount. Now, you should know that the federal government also froze hiring under the new administration. Government was about 13% of legal jobs, and the NALP's overall private practice median actually dropped 3% on a firm size mix shift. Big Law tightened their summer hiring for the class of 2026. It's true, but none of that kills the overall thesis here, because law just is not a profession that AI can disrupt, because the profession is built around making lawyers more valuable, not less, with AI, because law is a licensed profession. You can't practice law in the US unless you graduated from a law school. passed the bar exam and maintained good standing with your state bar. And I know there are a couple of exceptions here and there, but for the most part, that is the case. So every legal opinion has to be associated with a human lawyer's name. That human is on the hook personally, professionally, and financially. And most people think lawyering is research and writing, drafting documents, reviewing contracts, and that work is part of it, but it's only maybe 20% of what a lawyer actually does. The other 80% is judgment. It's advising a business owner whether to take a term sheet that looks good, but has a clause that could burn them in a couple of years, or getting a call in the middle of the night from a client who just found out their kid's been charged with a felony and telling them, it's okay, we're going to fix it tomorrow morning. AI can't do that. The doom content in AI focuses on that 20% of legal drafting because that's what AI can do. But if you ask the lawyers actually using these tools what the effect's been, they're not saying my firm is shrinking. You're hearing the opposite. AI can handle the research in the first drafts, and that gives senior lawyers more time to spend those hours on more matters, more cases, better strategy, taking on more clients. So they grow their efficiency. They can take on more work. It's increasing their productivity. It is not replacing them. Now, the lawyers who are figuring out right now how to use AI are getting disproportionately rewarded right now. A third-year associate who can use a legal AI tool intelligently is doing work in one day or a couple hours that used to take a mid-level associate a full week. And that AI associate who can use AI is getting the best cases. They're accelerating toward partnership faster than those who can't use the tools. So the gap between the AI literate lawyers and everybody else is going to be one of the biggest career differentiators of the next 10 years. Nobody in any other profession has that kind of runway. If you show up on day one, already native to the tools, rewriting the profession, you're going to win. And that is the mispricing of a legal degree right now in 2026. Now, a whole bunch of people self-selected out of the law school market, out of applying because they were scared. They went to tech, they went to doing an MBA, and they waited things out. But that is reshaping the pool you are competing against. It's going to make things easier for you because you're going to have fewer competitors, but if anything, there are going to be more jobs coming along. And so if you want my help getting a higher LSAT score, getting into better law schools, getting more scholarship money, setting yourself up for success in this new world, I'm happy to help you out. I'm offering a free LSAT tutoring lesson for everybody watching this now or later. The link to book that free tutoring with me is unpluggedprep.com/start. The link is below the video on YouTube, pinned in the chat on YouTube, in my bio on TikTok and Instagram.